Who are the Yoruba people? Think you know the Yoruba? Come closer. You're about to meet one of the most powerful, brilliant, stylish, and influential ethnic groups in Africa and the world. The Yoruba are one of the largest and greatest ethnic groups in Africa, with tens of millions of proud sons and daughters across Nigeria and the globe. What origin? From the very beginning of humanity to the ancient reign of Egypt, long before the Arab invasions between 639 and 642 AD, the people back then in Egypt were blacks linked to the Yorubas, who fled down to South and West Africa due to the invasion, down to the sacred city of Ile-Ife, the spiritual cradle of Yoruba civilization. Oduduwa, the divine progenitor and first Uni of Ile-Ife, was a living Orisha who laid the foundation of Yoruba greatness. Then came the historic and mighty Oyo Empire, feared and respected across West Africa. Long before colonialism, the Yoruba were already building advanced cities, powerful kingdoms, booming trade routes, and sophisticated systems of government. Renowned for military strength, political organization, trade, and influence, they built a legacy of kings and queens across West Africa. From ancient rulers to today's respected traditional rulers, Yorubas don't just have kings, they carry royalty in their blood from Egypt. They are kings and queens. Look at the traditional attire called agbada, which drips and flows like liquid royalty, the hat called fila, the traditional crown, and the beads known as ileke. This completely shows and proves that the Yorubas are indeed from the royal bloodline of their ancestors. This is not just a tribe, this is a royal bloodline. Any education, the Yorubas are a powerhouse in Africa. Yorubas don't play with books, they value education like oxygen. The Yorubas are the most educated people in Nigeria, Africa, and the diaspora. From professors to doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, and tech geniuses, Yoruba names dominate Nigeria's intellectual space. Education isn't just encouraged in Yoruba land, it is worshipped. Economic titans. Entrepreneurship. The Yoruba are known for entrepreneurship, commerce, innovation, and business leadership. From local markets to multinational corporations, Yoruba men and women have played significant roles in building industries, creating jobs, and driving economic growth in Nigeria and the diaspora across the globe. There are notable Yoruba billionaires across the globe, moving silently but powerfully. Hospitality and community. One great thing many visitors notice is Yoruba hospitality and generosity. They welcome foreigners like family. Guests are often welcomed warmly, treated with respect, and encouraged to feel at home. Even other tribes in Nigeria and foreigners settle and thrive among the Yoruba. That's the ancestral spirit of the Yorubas. How many tribes share their ancestral land with other tribes? The Yorubas even allow other tribes to rule in Yoruba's ancestral lands. Family, community, and respect for elders remain important values in Yoruba culture. Entertainment and cultural giants. When Yorubas touch music, film, fashion, or comedy, Africa and the world feel it. Nollywood, Yoruba foundation. Afrobeats, heavy Yoruba flavor. From legends like Fela Anikulapo Kuti, Sade Adu, and King Sunny Ade, to modern kings and queens of Afrobeats dominating global charts and stages. The Yorubas don't just entertain, they create culture. Creativity flows in their veins. Ancestral spirits don't play. Global diaspora influence. Yoruba culture crossed the Atlantic centuries ago and still runs deep. The Yoruba people, culture, and traditions can be found in Brazil, Cuba, Trinidad, Haiti, and beyond. Santeria, Candomblé, and many spiritual traditions carry Yoruba DNA. The influence is worldwide. Main strongholds: Nigeria, the heartland; Benin, Togo, Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, and the Americas and the Caribbean. Sporting beasts. The Yorubas are deeply involved in sports in Nigeria and across the world. They are in football, boxing, athletics, basketball, wrestling, and more. Yorubas are out here collecting trophies and breaking records. They don't just play sports, they dominate every sport. Food that slaps different. Are you hungry? Yorubas have plenty of food to eat. Amala and ewedu, gabagiri, pounded yam, egusi, ofada rice, jollof, the real one, moi moi, akara, eba, dodo, adalu, oji, ekuru, and more. One plate and you'll understand why people keep coming back. Yoruba food is love made edible. Culture and tradition. Colorful festivals. Talking drums that speak. Beautiful gele and agbada. Rich proverbs. Powerful dances. Deep wisdom. Unmatched artistry. Yoruba culture is pure elegance with swag. What makes the Yoruba great? Their resilience, their sharp intelligence, their unmatched creativity, their entrepreneurial spirit, their royal heritage, their unbreakable unity when it matters, their global dominance. The Yoruba story is not just a Nigerian story. This is an African superpower story. This is a global story. Proudly Yoruba, proudly African. Drop Omo Yoruba in the comments if you're repping the culture. And follow for more African greatness.
Doctors and lawyers, we they elevate. Engineers, scientists, entrepreneurs too. Anywhere success they Yoruba pass through. Oh, election or hard work now our way. From Balogun market to Wall Street someday. Entrepreneur spirit they inside at the end. We hustle every morning to the morning. Locate. Gang and talking back that they beat this sound.
Honor and respect, divine all blessed honor and respect. Greetings and salutations this Friday, August 21st. It is another edition of Voodoo Hoodoo 101, powered by NOIVD. The moon is in Sagittarius in its first quarter phase with Venus and Saturn in opposition, a day of awareness, tension, and the need for balance between personal needs and responsibilities. Again, greetings one and all. Thank you for continuing to join and support us for this weeknight podcast, 9 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time, on a platform near you or by way of our QR code in the upper left corner of your screen with the little blue ducky head in it, or by way of our scrolling URL. We are eternally grateful for those who show up and support us always here live in chat, as well as by way of our various platforms. Thank you so much for joining us by way of our Facebook pages, groups, and profiles, our multilingual and international listenership and participants by way of LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, and always thankful for our IG, Instagram listeners and participants. We gather tonight. Please take a breath and feel the weight of the moment. Family, gather close. You are tuned in now to the revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Voodoo Hoodoo 101, powered by New Orleans International Voodoo Day. I am your host, your brother, your conjure man at the crossroads, the Divine Prince, Taya Mecca, coming to you from the sacred soil of Treme and the Bywater and New Orleans, where the ancestors still walk and the spirits still answer. Tonight we open the door, literally and spiritually, to one of the oldest, most universal, most misunderstood tools in root work, conjure, voodoo, voodoo, and that is the key. The key itself, the keys, the act of locking, the act of unlocking, the act of holding power in your hand. And in every tradition across the Pan-African world, Keys are more than metal. They are more than objects. They are symbols of authority, guardianship, access, protection, and transformation. A key is a crossroads you can carry. A key is a contract between you and the unseen. A key is a promise that something is yours to open, yours to close, yours to guard, yours to reveal. And in the old world, in West Africa, keys were not always metal. They were carved wood, woven fiber, bone, stone, symbolic bundles tied with intention. But the meaning was the same. The one who holds the key holds the right to enter. The one who holds the key holds the responsibility to protect. The one who holds the key carries the burden of knowledge and the privilege of access. When our ancestors were forced across the Middle Passage, they carried no physical keys, but they carried spiritual ones. They carried the keys to memory, the keys to survival, the keys to identity, the keys to the spirits who refused to leave them. And when they arrived in the New World, in Haiti, in Cuba, in Brazil, in the Carolinas, in the Gulf Coast, and especially here in New Orleans, those keys took new forms. Iron keys, skeleton keys, gate keys, house keys, padlock keys, keys worn around the neck, keys buried in jars, keys nailed above doors, keys placed underneath mattresses, keys hidden in shoes, keys carried in pockets as protection, as charm, as oath. In New Orleans hoodoo and conjure, the key is a living tool. It is used to lock away trouble, to unlock opportunity, to bind an enemy, to free a friend, to seal a promise, to open a path, to close a chapter, to protect a home, to call a spirit, to dismiss a spirit, to hold a secret, to reveal a truth. And every key has two faces, the lock and the opening, the closing and the releasing, the boundary and the invitation. And every practitioner must understand both sides because in authentic ATR traditions, power is never one directional. Power is balance. Power is responsibility. Power is knowing when to shut the door and when to open it. And tonight we explore the rituals that use keys, the meanings behind them, the interpretations that have survived generations, the practices that connect us to our ancestors and to one another. We talk about the key placed in a mojo bag to unlock prosperity, the key buried in a jar to keep someone away, the key hung above a door to guard the home, the key placed on an altar to call a spirit of roads, gates, and transitions, the key used in Vodou to honor the Loa who govern passage, movement, and access, the key used in hoodoo to bind a situation until justice arrives, the key used in root work to open the way for healing, clarity, and truth. We talk about the symbolism of keys in Pan-African cosmology, the gatekeepers, the guardians, the messengers, the spirits who stand at the thresholds, the governors of the crossroads, the ones who decide what passes and what does not, the ones who hold the mysteries of movement, change, and transformation. We talk about how keys became sacred in the New World especially in New Orleans, where the blending of African, indigenous, Caribbean, and European influences created a spiritual ecosystem unlike anywhere else. A place where a skeleton key could be both a household tool and a powerful charm. A place where a key could be used in a Catholic novena and a hoodoo working in the same week. A place where the ancestors taught us that the physical and the spiritual are never separate. They're two sides of the same door. And we talk about NOIVD, New Orleans International Vodou Day, and our mission to preserve, protect, and uplift authentic ATR practices, to honor elders, to honor the houses, to honor the lineages, to honor the traditions that survived enslavement, colonization, suppression, and misunderstanding, to honor the practitioners who keep the keys today, the spiritual keys, the cultural keys, the ancestral keys. Because keys are not always just objects, they are responsibilities, they are inheritances, they are reminders that we are the descendants of people who refuse to be locked out of their own power, people who carry the keys of Africa in their minds and hearts, even when their hands were empty. And so tonight, we reclaim those keys. We remember their meanings. We honor their usages. We explore their rituals. And we step into the understanding that every one of us carries keys to our destiny, to our healing, to our protection, to our ancestors, and indeed to our future. So settle in, light a candle, pour your water, touch the key you carry, whether it is metal, symbolic, spiritual, or ancestral. And tonight we open the door together. Tonight we open the door to allow entry to yet another ancestor. They say death comes in threes. We are still mourning and preparing to show honor for indeed voodoo priestess Miriam. And now we acknowledge Big Duck, who made his transition. We mourn as a community. We mourn as individuals who had varying degrees of relationship with Big Duck. We mourn communally, indeed, for the foundation and the buildings and ideas and vibrations that Big Duck planted in our community, including the Treme Rec Center and all of its extending attachments. So this is Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. This is Voodoo Hoodoo 101. This is NOIVD. And tonight we turn the key. Greetings and salutations again for joining us and always being present and supporting us, indeed live in chat. Bonsoir to mon beloved Sagwe, Sally and Glassman. Greetings to our beloved moderator and tonight co-host, co-host and panelist, our beloved Queen Mother, Sister Tony Val Martinez, a community mother, community activist, community resource person. If it's to be found, she knows where to get it, how to access it. Community agitator when necessary. Indeed, Big Duck was a community agitator in his own right. So greetings to you and yours, beloved Tony Val. What say you this evening and how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Everybody in the listening audience. Who you talking about? Keys. Sister Tony Bell don't like keys at all, just like the broom. I don't like locks. I haven't quite figured out why. Um, I don't like them. I
Are you with
am.
me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I don't care for keys. I don't like keys at all. I don't like locks. I don't like locks up. I don't know why. I never did. Um, when I was growing up, I grew up in a middle class home and our house was modern, but our doorknobs were very old. My daddy was a carpenter, so he modified the new doors to be able to fit those old door locks and doorknobs with those skeleton looking keys in them. And my mom kept the keys in the door on the inside of the door, even though they were never used to lock the door. Doors were never locked, but keys were present in our house. I guess just in case we had to lock them, but
Mm-hmm.
I I don't like, and they say he who holds the keys has the power. Well, I can't keep up with keys. I don't like keys, period. And they say people will buy anything. And the thrift store that I normally go to, I've seen them bag up what I would call skeleton keys and the old keys in bags and sell them real cheap, like for $1.50. And when I ran across three in a bag one time, they just gave me chills. Like, like when the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even touch them. They was like $1.50. And I just passed them by quickly. Well, when I was in the checkout line, how the cash registers are lined up, they're lined up like three or four, well, 4 or 5 of them in a row, and you just step up next, next, and we standing side by side. So this white guy behind me had got them, and he put them up on the counter. So they always know me enough for being happy and speaking to everybody. So I struck up a conversation. I said, "Oh, you like old keys?" He said, "Not really." He said he put them online and sold them for a much higher price. So I guess there's a market for those type of things, but they just gave me the creeps.
There
I
is. There's indeed a market for them. And I appreciate, your personal relationship, to brooms and keys. I can honor that for you. I
Yeah.
indeed have a hot and cold, Rada and Pinto kind of dynamic with keys. Certainly, I could spend, too much time talking about, triggers and traumas associated with keys, particularly in my younger years. But I've always understood keys to hold a power, an energy, uh, and even to some degree, a memory. So over the course of my life, I've been want to give up keys or allow keys to, fall in the hands of other people. Even if I've long, moved away from a location or stopped using a particular lock or access to a doorway, I've often held on to the keys and have somehow found a way to incorporate them into uh, my shrinery, if not my ritual work to some degree. Certainly, some of you are aware, my father is the 33rd, and there's a whole understanding of keys and symbolism of keys that I sort of, picked up, learned, gathered through that experience. And there are indeed deities, crossroads deities, doorway deities, like Papa Legba, like Eshu, like Kalfo, like Elegba, that resonate or have some connection to keys symbolically or energetically in some way. Now, I do not pick up stray and random keys like off the ground or off the sidewalk any more than I will pick up change thrown on the ground outside of my house or my residence. And often, even in my own residence, if I inadvertently drop coins on the floor, they will remain there. We will sweep around them, clean around them, vacuum around them, but they generally will stay on the floor to sort of lock that energy, that prosperity, that abundance into the foundations. But keys are, I would say, play a major role in my altar work, my shrines, my connections to Pan African traditions in varying degrees. Again, depending on the deity, the Orisha, the Loa, the circumstance, the work that's being done. There's a relationship for keys. I guess I'm guilty too of being, you know, brought up middle class in a house in the DMV area that had skeleton keys. Every door in the house had a lock, you know, on both sides, you know, inside and outside the door, that was accessible by skeleton key. We kept the skeleton keys centrally located in the house. And from what I can remember, we sort of rarely used them or needed them really, because the doors did also have sort of manual turn locks that you could sort of open and close from inside the room. But the keys themselves, and their location in the house, quite frankly, always held a great deal of energy for me. Again, hot and cold, light and darkness. I won't delay too much into too many stories, but you know, the whole foundation of this house always felt a bit spooky to me. Our, you know, below ground basement had, you know, dark caverns connected to it. Our fireplace on the main floor terminated in the basement. That was accessible, you know, from a door, a wrought iron or iron door that also had a skeleton key. So I've always had sort of this curiosity, this wonder, this again hot and cold relationship to keys, and I've shown them a great deal of respect. I have some ceremonial keys.
Respect the key.
Say that
Respect the
again.
key. I say yes, respect the key.
Respect the voodoo, respect the keys, for sure.
When I was young, I suffered from nosebleeds just out the blue. My nose would start bleeding. And that was one time I didn't really fear keys. My mama put a key on a string, a red string, and I had to wear it down my back, and a copper key, not a skeleton key, a copper key, and with the big round head at the top and flat head. And she said that would stop my nose from bleeding. And I know people now wear copper bracelets and stuff, um, because they say they have help. But for us, it was always a copper key. I guess they had got around to that, and you wrote a copper key for whatever was ailing you. And with the key down my back, I did suffer from fewer nosebleeds. You know, I
Hmm.
did do that. So, but keys are very important. Like you said, they're not, you know, I have that hot and cold. Never ever, never ever pick up a key off the street. Like you said, like pennies in the street.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. And the same thing in our house. If we drop it on the floor, it stays on the floor. My mama used to call that, say, leave it for the sweeper. Don't pick it up. Leave it for the sweeper. But then I'm like, I'm the sweeper. So, but she don't pick it up. And it just got swept around and moved around. And eventually you didn't know where it went.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even in this house right now, I'm missing two pennies that been on the floor forever. But ever since I've been here, almost they've been in here, but I couldn't find them the day when I was cleaning up, and I know nobody been in here but me to pick them up. So
Oh, I
But
would
yes,
stop looking. I wouldn't even be trying to look for them. I really wouldn't. I would let
well,
them
I'm
be.
curious. I'm curious because I believe in the littles,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the people that come and take your stuff, your earring, your ring, your watch. I'm always on the lookout for them. And when something is missing, I say the littles have it. And I was just curious, but it was two of them that's missing. But for those of you who can get keys and feel comfortable getting keys, I'd advise you to clean them. Clean them with some Florida water. Me, I would clean them with ammonia water, but clean them well. If they copper or brass keys, try to bring them back to their original. That's what I would do. Some people say leave them the way they are, but I still would say spiritually cleanse them before I brought them into, my home and place them on an altar or something like
You
that.
might want to sage them. Perhaps even fire cleansing. But I would be careful about putting ammonia or even Florida water on antique keys in particular and older keys, and removing or damaging that natural, what we say in the art world, patina, the natural buffing that comes from the hands holding an object, utilizing an object, pressing upon an object over time. If you ever watched Antique Roadshow back in the day, you could literally lose thousands of dollars of value off, a wood piece of furniture or an African wood carving, for example, cleaning it, or antique copper for that matter, and removing the uh, the natural patina that develops over time. But certainly modern keys, yeah, I would definitely apply some ammonia, some Florida water um, to those keys for sure.
Well, our show is coming to an end. We're running out of time, and I would like the Divine Prince to thank those in our listening audience. We have a kind of shorter show tonight. We have a lot of things going on in our community with the
Ooh,
passing of two great leaders
legends,
of the community.
legends in the community.
Yes, legends. So, Divine Prince, if you would thank our listening audience.
Indeed, Big Duck and Priestess Miriam are legends and icons of the community. Many people wouldn't know anything about New Orleans voodoo had it not been for Priestess Miriam's physical presence and demonstration on Rampart Street and in the French Quarter. She became a pivotal part of the whole tourist chain and economy of buses would pull right up to Priestess Miriam's door, and people would, witness and experience her temple space, her store, and this is before Hurricane Katrina. And Big Duck certainly has been a pivotal grassroots foundational community activist and builder, was foundational to the creation and development of Treme Rec Center and many of the organizations and extensions that grew and developed from that shared sacred space. So we always want to acknowledge those who came before, certainly our ascended and elevated ancestors, but even our egoons and our most recent transitioned relatives and family and friends and community leaders and members, but surely want to acknowledge the great pillars of our community that Priestess Miriam and Big Duck are and will continue to be as ancestors. I want to thank Sean Wynn 6771 for your continued support and participation live on platform from the chat. Greetings and salutations, Apostle Hudson, 1963. We look forward to your joining us again here on panel and in chat in future podcasts. I invite everyone to join us again on weeknights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on a platform near you or by way of our Streamyard QR code in the upper left corner of your screen with the little blue ducky head in it, or the scrolling URL at the top or bottom of your screen, depending on the orientation. Greetings, Ms. Simone 41. We certainly appreciate your attendance and support. Bobby Tsunami, we certainly appreciate you. Monic 3, thank you so much for your continued support and participation. Dev Alex, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you. Al Grando, we certainly do appreciate you. E. Malene joined us. We appreciate you. And certainly Apostle Hudson, we appreciate your continual support, and we look forward to meeting you here on Monday night. I believe that will be August
24th.
24th, August 24th. And until then, I offer you divine, all blessed peace and prosperity to you and yours, remembering that all is truly and indeed a blessing. If you can just see beyond the veils, for it is all just an illusion and a test, and one of the greatest divine mysteries of this life cycle. Ayibobo, Odabo, and Ashe. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
For example, you get your Lafayette people that say, hey, Cher, how you doing? I'm not supposed to be saying that. Yeah, Cher. Yeah, well, this is a word that exists in Louisiana French and Louisiana Creole. Some people just think it's slang. Or another one, me casala, you know, that means, well, look at that. And a lot of people don't realize they're actually code switching.
Wow, so you mean to tell me that all this time I've been speaking like a little bit of French, like when I say beaucoup, they got
I was about to say beaucoup. This comes from Coudivini and Louisiana French, yeah.
So, do you think that code switching has something to do with why some of this language was lost?
Why the language was lost or why it's on the decline has much more to do with Americanization, assimilating into the dominant culture. So New Orleans people actually were the first to lose these languages in the state. Language revitalization is kind of making sure that the language stays and maybe even comes back up. So we're doing that work in New Orleans. But there are still people in like the 337 area codes, Lafourche Parish, all the way down that still speak Louisiana Creole. They still speak Louisiana French, and some people still speak Louisiana Spanish.
Do you feel a code switching in the body?
Although it can be intentional, sometimes we're unaware that it's happening. You know, like right now, me and you, we've been talking, we've been enjoying the space, and we've been relating to each other in a way that's comfortable for us. But now we're aware that there's lights and cameras around us. We're aware that there's an audience taking in what we have to get. So we're instinctively doing it right now.
Right.
And I've only just become aware of it.
My hands be right here.
Are you like, man, you know, we leaning in, we talking about like, what? The camera's on right now. Right. This is an example, a textbook example of code switching.
So out of all these languages that you speak, which one feels like your truest self?
All of them, because they all play a very special and significant role in how I relate to the world around me. You know, I have friends that sometimes when I speak with them in Louisiana Creole, if we switch to English, sometimes I'm like, man, your voice don't sound right like that. Let's go back to Creole. The true one to me is all of them in their appropriate time and place.
I love that. It depends on who you're speaking and how it relates to you and the comfort. I understand that.
What really matters is how you feel when you're relating to somebody. And if you feel good, you're operating within your true self, I'd say.
I love that. Clef made me think about audience as more than who's listening.
Allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this white in my DNA, yeah, I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, flip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees, it's time you pay for your dirt and your shit. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation, and I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner. Oh, do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she's straight. But she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Mitch, you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, Assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit Westside. He looks me in my eye and says, "You only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise." Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down.